All right. Hey, how is it, everybody? I have a reverb problem. Hold on one second. There we go. All righty. There we have it. Okie dokie, people. Alrighty, let's say it is 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm thinking it's about 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Med Statter. This is Chatter with Statter. And yeah, I hope you like pictures of random stuff that doesn't matter because I've got a lot of that for you today. All right, so it looks like boop-a-doo. Let's see who's here, shocking the house, letting us know when the scheduley doodly is. And we have got, Shock also bragging. She got herself some rooibos tea. I don't know how to say it, but if I remember correctly, that's the red tea. There's white tea, there's green tea, there's black tea, and the rooibos boost. I don't know how you say it. It's red. That's what I remember. I think it's got caffeine, or maybe it doesn't, but it still energizes you. I'm not really sure, but I'll bet you Shock knows. And we have Terry in Scotland coming in here. And we've got Gina welcoming everybody in. And oh, good. We've got Lady Misty on the YouTube side. Because here's the deal, y'all. I forgot to turn the YouTube side on. And then I turned on the stream. And then I remembered, So I had to fiddle faddle. And good, we got some YouTube people here. And Kenny from the Cove wondering, are we there yet? Kenny, are we ever there? Are we ever going to get there? Where is there anyway? And where are we now anyway? All right, Terry in Scotland, Shock, Gina, and let's see here. Yeah, exactly, Gina. Ask again, and we're going to go back to the home. I'm going to turn this stream around. And all right, Rick, thanks so much for coming on in and resubbing 32 months in a row. Wow, you guys, it is almost our 3-year anniversary here at Chatter with Statter. July 3rd, 2021. I had to count my fingers. July 3rd, 2021 was the very first stream that we had here, all 15 minutes of it. And it was a live stream where I talked to the artist. I only had one viewer, and it was the artist of this wonderful honu that I wear every day, almost every day. I forgot to bring it to the beach this week, and I was kind of heartbroken. K-Man, Camuella Man, Jerry McGregor. He was my first little Chatterbox crew person, and it makes me so happy. Let's see here. Okay, so rooibos is a bush. I knew it was not a real tea. Okay, let me rephrase that. What we refer to as tea leaves for traditional black and green and white tea. I knew it wasn't that kind of plant. But I thought that it energized people, but I wasn't sure if it had caffeine. Anyway, all right, we've got Darlene here also, and we've got Terry in Scotland with a 10 stream streak. And doesn't all tea have caffeine, says Kenny. Well, first off, no, it will. Very good question, and we will get into that, actually. But before we get into that, Terry bragging about how he polished off a Tetley 2-bagger. Ooh, that's a nice, strong pot of tea there. Mama Sean coming in with the YouTube side and wishing all the mamas in the room a happy Mother's Day. I hope that all y'all had a good Mother's Day. In fact, if you're a mother and you're here, I'm very thankful for it, because you should be getting your toes polished and your dinners fed to you, and you should be getting grapes just dropped into your mouth and fanned with palm leaves and all of that. But let's see here. All right, so Mama Sean, Gina Gamba. Okay, cool. It looks like, we've got E.T. Guerrero coming in. Good to see you, E.T. Thank you for coming on in on this holiday Mother's Day. And who else? Okay, it looks like, so Mother's Day is essentially Tuesday? Oh, what? Is that when you get your nails did? Is on Tuesday? And Lady Misty laughing, nope, not here, not here. But yes, Terry, exactly. Happy Mother's Day to whom it may concern. And, alrighty then. So, Picola Tea also coming in the house. All right, we've got people gathering on in. Looks like I'm not dropping any frames. That's always good. Okay, so do we want to do it, Yael? Should we get it started? Get this party started? Boop. Looks like Say What came in just as the party theme was starting. Good to see you, Say What. I'm glad you are here for today. I don't know what exactly we're going to be talking about other than the ever hated, the ever feared, the ever reviled vegan cheese. That's right. That's right. And nice intro. I hadn't seen that before. Well, Say What? I will tell you this right now, and this is a confession that I should be making every single live stream, but I'm pretty sure most of the people who've been here for a while know this. I didn't make that intro. Our good friend Andy Bumatai made that intro for me. I couldn't make that intro to save my life. I wouldn't know how to do what he just did 3 years ago for me. So yeah, it is a beautiful intro. I should probably update it. It's 3 years old. I'm not going to because I love it, and I couldn't do something, I couldn't do anything to make it look like that. And no, check this out, Say What? No, not my cat. And check this out. I don't think Andy even knew that I had a black cat. So, let alone two. So, the fact that he knew that I liked cats. He definitely knew I was a cat person. But the fact that he chose a black cat for the whole situation, dude, it was truly a case of serendipity. It was wonderful coincidence. It couldn't have been a better intro on accident. And I am so thankful for Andy for convincing me to go live with this silly live stream that has turned into a wonderful gathering place for all of us. And I'm super thankful for Andy to make all the things he's done for me, teaching me all the things, as it were. Kismet, there you go, Mama Sean. But one thing I would like to say about Andy Bumatai is, for all of the fans of Andy Bumatai, I don't know if you've heard yet, but it sounds like for the next until the end of May, the next couple weeks, 2 weeks, May's a long month, so maybe not the end of May, but for the next couple weeks, Andy is still going to be offline. He's got medical tests that he's doing, and he's also trying to get a new venue for his live performances lined up. He's got a lot going on, and so I got a message from him, and I think I saw it also on some social medias, but for those of you who don't know and are waiting for Daily Pigeon to come back, like I'm looking in my direction, right? It's going to be another couple weeks. So it's kind of a bummer, but I just want to let you know, from what I've heard, he's doing well. He's just really busy, and he doesn't have time for us. But that's okay, because real life gets in the way of streaming. Okay. So, let's see here. Sarah and Dippity are cousins of K.O. Pectate. Nice. There we go. And, okay, so let's see here. All right, so we're going to tackle it. We're going to do it. I want to let you guys know that everyone who thinks that vegan cheese is gross, there was a time in all of our collective lives where that was totally true. But apparently, you guys, things are changing. Things are changing, and the cheese world is very unhappy. So, yeah. Here's a little video that explains what I'm talking about, y'all. All right, so, boop.
A messy drama in the artisan cheese world is unfolding. And it's all about this blue cheese. It doesn't come from a cow. It was made from a distillation of pumpkin seeds, lima beans, hemp seeds, coconut fat, and cocoa butter. This blue cheese is made by Climax Foods, and it was selected to win the prestigious Good Food Award, besting all the artisan dairy cheeses in a blind taste test. But the plant-based cheese mysteriously got disqualified before given that award. Oliver Zahn, CEO of Climax, claims the Good Food Award was robbed from his cheese due to pressure from dairy cheese makers, some who claim that his product isn't cheese at all because it didn't come from a cow or a goat. On the internet, many cheesemakers were complaining about the plant-based interloper. Perhaps instead of complaining, they should be making better cheese because the plant-based one is better than theirs.
Okay, so that is the cheese in question. Now, let me make it clear. I am not a fan of blue cheese. Blue cheese is just disturbing. But some people like it, okay? And for those who like it, apparently that fake cheese was good enough to be the winner of that category. And the only reason why, so they submitted their product to the contest, and on their product, let me go backwards. So when they were developing this product, Terry in Scotland, ain't milk plant-based to start with? You could argue that, actually, Terry. And I remember when vegan mayonnaise first came out, the mayonnaise producers of the world got really pissed because mayonnaise by definition needs to be made with eggs, I guess someone decided. And so they were questioning the label of the use of the word mayonnaise. I'm not sure how that argument ever finished up. I don't know if vegan mayonnaise is still allowed to be called mayonnaise or if it's like mayonnaise spread, or if there's some sort of qualifier, because I only eat best foods, so I don't really look at vegan mayonnaise, but I do remember when vegan mayonnaise came out, the fact that it didn't have eggs threw the industry into a huge kerfuffle. There was, it calls itself Veganase, see, thank you, Colity. So it was no longer allowed to call itself mayonnaise because it didn't have eggs in it. And so I have a feeling that something similar is going to be happening in the cheese world when it comes to vegan cheese and whether or not it's going to be able to call itself cheese in the future. But right now it is allowed to be called cheese. We're just seeing now the blowback and the resistance from the dairy industry, and it absolutely is serious resistance, and it was organized resistance, and it was through a technical loophole that the vegan cheese got the award rescinded, and it was through a technical loophole that didn't actually didn't apply, but it sort of applied. The manufacturer of the product had a little bit to play in this. Here, let me go to explain. So back when they were developing the cheese product, they used a specific kind of nut butter that is commonly used in Asian and Indian foods. I don't remember what it's called, like kakura, or starts with a K, and it's something that we don't use in American cooking. However, and the FDA doesn't recognize it as a food as generally recognized as safe. GRAS, grass, generally recognized as safe. Whatever that particular ingredient was, the nut butter, the Indian version, we're going to call it kokura. I don't think that's what it is, but that's what we're going to call it. No, it's not kukui. No, it's not kukui. It's C-O or K-O. Oh, I wish I had it. Anyway, so, that was the product. That was one of the ingredients that they originally used when formulating their cheese. They, however, figured out that when it comes to commercial production, that particular, Kenny, Kokura might be a city in Japan, which is where I'm maybe getting that word from. But yeah, it's basically unrecognizable as food is what the FDA says. The rest of the world recognizes it as food, but the FDA does not. But here's the deal. It was only used as an ingredient in their developmental processes and their smaller batches. But once they went into full-on commercial production, they realized that particular ingredient wasn't ideal. And so they switched to cocoa butter. And cocoa butter is generally recognized as safe. So the ingredient, the kokura, wasn't even in the cheese that was submitted for the contest. However, the manufacturer hadn't updated their labeling to reflect the change. So, even though it didn't have kokura in it, it had cocoa butter, the labeling for the product they put in the contest did not indicate that. Therefore, all of the dairy people used that ingredient and said, this is not generally recognized as safe. This should not be a part of the contest. So that's how the cheese ended up to get disqualified. Now, the owner of the company that made the cheese has his panties in a bunch because he was like, they could have just asked us for clarification and we could have given them an updated label and this wouldn't have been an issue at all. But A, the contest people didn't know that there was a labeling issue. B, the content producer, the cheesemaker, really should have been aware that the labeling was a problem. Even if he didn't know that that one ingredient was going to be a sticky wicket, he still should have made sure. He still should have made sure that his label, his label was properly reflecting the product that he submitted. So I can see why he's pissed off because it was for a no good reason. On the other hand, he didn't do his part to make sure his paperwork was right, basically. And so because he didn't make sure his paperwork was right, it opened up a loophole for the dairy, for big dairy to come in and say, no. So he ended up getting his award rescinded, which sucks for him. But you know what? Next year he's probably going to know better. Although next year there might be new rules in place to prevent any kind of vegan cheese. I don't really know, but that is the vegan cheese controversy right now. And so, just so you guys know, apparently vegan cheese is getting to be so good that even experts in a blind taste test find it palatable. I'm still skeptical for a couple reasons. First off, as blue cheese, and I don't do blue cheese. Second off, as vegan cheese, I just don't know how I feel about it still. But I've been told from a lot of my vegan friends that vegan cheese is getting way better. It's getting more melty, etc., etc. Now, Kenny brings up a good point. He's eaten government cheese, he's eaten cheese slices, he's eaten Velveeta cheese. Fake cheese really isn't too much of a concern for him. And you know what? I have to say the same thing. I've eaten all those things too, and I probably will eat them again. So why I'm up on a high horse about vegan cheese, I don't really know. Because I'll tell you right now, Velveeta is not natural. Vegan cheese, not natural. And like I believe it was Mama Sean who just said, Mama Sean, I have an issue with so much processing to make something that is natural. Precisely, Mama Sean. That is one bit of side eye I give to a lot of vegans. It's like, I don't really understand how you think that something so processed is going to be better for you than an egg. But, hey, whatever. And Shock coming in with the ingredient I couldn't remember. Kokum butter. Okay, kokum. Sorry. But I knew it was something KOK, and then after that, I couldn't remember. So, kokum butter is not generally recognized as safe by the FDA. Every other country in the world thinks it's safe for consumption, but we don't. We apparently don't. And so that was the ingredient that got the cheese disqualified. Yeah, exactly. Just like Tofurkey, if you have to process the heck out of something to make something we already have, just eat the best quality of the real stuff. Exactly. And Andre, by the way, thank you for coming on in. Good to see you. Asking the question, though, why don't you just eat veggies and not go on the meat and dairy methadone route? Yeah, exactly. And to tell you the truth, Andre, that is precisely my best friend from high school. He's been a vegetarian since he was like 16, and he absolutely despises any kind of fake meat, any kind of this, that, and the other thing. He basically, yeah, only eats, bread and vegetables and this, that, and the other thing, because his logic is he does eat eggs. He doesn't like to, but he will. But his logic is, why would I eat fake meat? If I wanted to eat meat, I'd eat meat. I don't eat meat because I don't like meat. And Rick asking the cost comparison between vegan cheese and real cheese. Honestly, sir, I have no idea because I don't look at it. I don't even consider vegan cheese as an option. But I'm guessing it's more, because generally anything that's vegan or gluten-free or any kind of specialty diet, they always charge you more, right? And shock, I have since learned about corn oil, so fine, we won't talk about that. And my backdrop just fell. Hold on, y'all. There we go. And so let's see here. Well, Andre, good point. Obviously, it's good. Regular cheese can be expensive, totally. But I'm just, when you're talking about like basic craft cheddar versus basic vegan cheddar, my best guess is the basic vegan cheddar is going to cost more than the store brand cheddar, and yes, screen attack. I'm being attacked by surfboards. And yeah, if we had I really wish, Mama Sean, I totally agree. I totally agree. On the other hand, and I knew what you meant when you wrote Provesa Duff, I knew you meant processed. We had to process it to get the word right. No, I really wish there was a vegan here to give their side. And if there is a vegan here, please understand, I am not intending to try to gang up on you. And I actually would like to hear the perspective on, like, what is the logic between, the such processed fake foods that a lot of vegans do live on versus a more natural diet that doesn't depend on such processed foods. Because from my perspective, it seems a little bit weird. And I am coming from a perspective that doesn't have dietary issues that requires a plant-based diet. And I do understand that there are some people who medically need to be on a plant-based diet. And those people might still like meat and might still want meat. And so I guess I get it. But what I don't get is the people who ardently just think that vegan is by definition healthier. You're missing out on all your B12s unless you eat a lot of tempeh. B12 is a vitamin product that is virtually only available in living, dairy, in animal products. The exception is in tempeh because the probiotic, microbiotic actions somehow create the B12. So when that tofu is fermented into tempeh, it actually does have the B12, but not a lot of vegans eat a lot of tempeh. So, I just have to, if there are vegans that are watching now or in the future, even though all of the comments right now seem to be like, we're ganging up on you, I really am open to hearing your side of the story, because I'm sure there's a perspective that we are all lacking here, that your voice would be valuable in this conversation. And let's see here. And Andre, okay. So, all right, let's see here. Vegan, yeah. And, vegan costs more, potato. Yeah, okay, there we go. And your coworker, right, Andre, your coworker's a vegan and she does not like all the processed stuff either. She likes veggies. Right. And honestly, and I'm not trying to like give a hierarchy, but people who are vegan like that make way more sense to me than people who want to like go eat the Impossible Burger at Burger King. You know, I don't get that. Um and and Darlene, you have a niece who for years has been 100% vegan. She seems fine and likes the diet. Her argument is killing and consuming of animals. You don't get it. You like protein, meat. So yeah, so she's got the ethical argument there, and you know, there's something to be said about that. On the other hand, I have a problem with vegans who use pleather instead of leather because pleather is a petroleum product, and so I'm not really sure that their choice is any more ethical or healthy for the environment than a leather boot. So, you know, there is that. And let's see here. If you're a religious vegetarian, then nutrition and cost don't matter. I guess that's true. If you're a health vegetarian, you're going to be more careful no matter what you eat. There isn't good evidence that veganism is healthful. Not when a mother who is breastfeeding as a vegan loses babies to malnutrition. Absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely, that is one thing that now, vegans, if you're here now or in the future and you're part of this discussion, I do want to make one of my stances very clear. Babies are not supposed to be vegan. Babies are supposed to live off of animal products. Babies are supposed to live off of mother's breast milk. Now, if mother's breast milk isn't providing the particular ingredients that the baby needs to thrive, that baby needs to go on formula. And that formula is not going to be vegan-based. I've heard of many child abuse, malnutrition cases, custody cases. They've hit the news because vegan parents think that grinding up nuts and giving them almond milk is the same thing as breast milk, same thing as formula, and it's not. And so when it comes to infants, I will firmly stay on my stance that infants should not be fed a vegan diet. That is the one hardcore stance I have on veganism that probably won't change. And Kenny, please don't. And I know you're joking. And Picola T, you worked in a vegan office, all shades and grades of veganism, some avoiding any animal products, others adapting as much as they could. Right, yeah, and that's you know, I that's awesome. Dr. Steve calls it spaceman food. And you know, that's really awesome, especially as someone who, like you or me, since we eat meat or whatever, it's like I can be in a vegan office. I can respect that. I can, you know, make sure I won't share my egg salad, and I'll go eat the egg salad outside if it grosses somebody out. I won't bring tuna to the office. And I can learn new ways to do things and stuff, because I'll tell you what, dude, pressed tofu, fried up real good, I would never make that until one of my vegan friends made it for me, and now let me just tell you, yum, yum, yum. And yes, veganism is not a natural food way anywhere. Only rich Westerners can afford to be vegan, basically, yeah. And, trailed us. We had vegetable-based burgers by mistake this week. Have to garnish them with meat. You know what I love to do? And I actually love to eat them too. I love to get a garden burger. I like how garden burgers taste. It's not because I'm a vegetarian. I just sometimes in the mood for a garden burger. Garden burgers, by the way, aren't trying to be beef. They're like grains, okay? So garden burgers like rice, oats, barley, seasoned into a patty that's all deep fried and delicious. So I love to order a garden burger with bacon and cheese. Man, those waitresses get so confused. They're just like, but I thought that wait, but you know, our bacon is meat, you know. It's like, yeah, I know your bacon's meat. And Kenny, okay, you tried an Impossible Burger from Burger King just out of morbid curiosity. So did one of my friends, and he said it wasn't bad. But my response to that was, yeah, but Burger King already tastes like a smoky, moist, gray sponge burger. So just because the fake burger doesn't taste any worse than the real one, doesn't mean that it's that good. And Shock, you are 1000% true. Right. If you're going to be a healthy vegan, you have to work super hard to get your micro and macros done. You really do. To get the proper nutrition in. And let's see here. And And Andre, I'll tell you what, I don't even know how to feel about the cloned meat other than like, I'm really leery. And yeah, Kenny, I am curious, was the smoky gray sponge burger tasty? The fake smoky gray sponge burger, was it tasty? And let's see here. Puzzycat, when my wife wasn't home, my daughter was young, she would ask me, where's mommy? I would say, cheese, not ear. Nice. And still today, your daughter doesn't like that saying. Understand. Oh, Dad, your joke is just so old. Yep. And yeah, you have a friend who had to was a vegan who had to add eggs back for health reasons. Precisely. The vitamin B12s, the B12s really are what is so hard for vegans to get. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's hard, but the B12s, unless you eat tempeh, there is no plant-based source of B12s. Period. End of story. You have to have some kind of plant product. And eggs are an excellent source of that, actually. Hey, Slurpee, good to see you. Sorry it took me a little while to get to your comment there. Wait, what's a garden burger? A garden burger, Garden Burger is a brand of fake burgers, but basically it's a patty that's just, I think it's got cheese in it. It's a grain patty and it's deep fried. And I mean, come on, dude. Anything that's deep fried is delicious. And wait, is Polly in here? I missed Polly. I've been so busy talking about things. Hold on. All right, I'm missing things and stuff. So, all right. Looks like, oh, Andre, thank you so much for gifting the 5 subs. And so yeah, yeah, actually, okay, yeah, Garden Burger does have some tofu in it too, but it also has rice. It's got brown rice, it's got barley, it's got a bunch of stuff. Let's see here, Mama Sean, I make an awesome tofu chili for a friend, but again, it tries to mimic hamburgers, so why bother? Right. And right, Picola tea, exactly, there you go. I'm with Picola tea. I love tofu, but I don't like it when it's made up to be pretend like it's something that it's not, like fake chicken or fake bacon. Yeah, it's just not, no. And what if it came with vegan cheese and vegan bacon, would I still eat it? I don't know, dude, because if the vegan cheese is as good as that award-winning vegan cheese, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I would like to think I'd try it. I don't know if I would eat the whole thing. I probably wouldn't like it, but you know, vegan cheese is getting better. Vegan bacon, well, here's the deal, actually. Bacon bits, the kind that you put on your salad that you get in salad bars, those are vegan. So, you know, we've had fake bacon for a long time, and I eat those, so I'd probably be okay. And you eat cows to help the vegans, Polly Chaser. That is a great helper. You're a helper. And, all right, so we've got a bunch of folks coming in. And, you know, dude, honestly, let's see here. But, you know, I forgot what I was going to say because I've been scrolling. So here, let's see here. Polly Chaser, I have no problem with, hold on. I have no problem with adults choosing not to eat meat, but the moral grandstanding of vegans does get on your nerves. I think we all share that sentiment here. And, Shock, you dislike tofu, except for the yellow bean non-soy tofu at Rangoon. I'm suspicious of all the extra phytoestrogens. That makes sense, and a lot of people are. I don't eat enough tofu to really worry about it. I mean, it's not something that I turn my nose up at. It's not something I eat that often, so when it comes across my plate, I'll eat it. But yeah, the phytoestrogens are definitely an issue. And let's see here. Slurpee, you don't know anything about Twitch related. You're such a noob at Twitch. That's okay, dude, because we used to be noobs too. In fact, I'm still kind of a noob. I don't really know much of how to do Twitch, but I think someone gave you a gift certificate. No. I think someone gave you a gift sub, and so that means if you go to your little emotions, your emotes button, the little smiley face, that means you'll have access to this particular stream's emotes. And so some of our emotes that we like to use here, especially the haha one, which, by the way, you guys, I can't believe no one threw the haha emote at me yesterday over my spelling error of Kuleana, but we won't get into that because I felt really stupid, like super stupid. But that really deserved a haha emote. And then we've got our flying forks. Oh, I love my flying forks, right? What in the flying fork is going on here? Flying forks. We got flying forks, and we got our little bees, and then we got we've got our kitty cats. We love our kitty cats. I don't know why I've got a hey guys, but I got a hey guys in there with my kitty cats. And then we've got my other kitty cat where that's Dusty, and he just says, really? He's just looking at you like, what? And then the most important one, though, that nobody knows what it is until we tell them. Nobody knows until we tell them. That's the Prel dot. Prel dots are when we have to wash your mouth out with soap. As long as if you say something that's so silly and you're like, oh, you shouldn't have said that, we're going to wash your mouth out with soap. We're going to wash your mouth out with the Prel soaps. We got all of the soaps. And then, also, exactly, Pussycat, that was my next one. Then, when we've got stuff where we're just half-fast, because we're a half-assed bunch here, this is our half-assed. Yes, indeedy. So now you're familiar with some of the emotes and their uses. And to be clear, most of the emotes don't have rules. This emote does have a rule. This emote, right? The haha emote has a rule. And that rule is, God dang it, I don't know how to do things. The rule for the haha emote is that's not to be used mean-spiritedly. You don't use it in a mean-spirited way. It's to point at a silly thing that someone did, usually me, occasionally maybe something else, but it's never to be used mean-spirited. The only time we use it mean-spiritedly is if someone comes in the stream and asks us to buy subscribers or followers. Before we ban those people, we like to put the haha emote at them. That's the only mean-spirited way we use the haha. Haha generally should be all only at me when I make a really dumb mistake. And let me tell you, there's plenty of times to hit the haha emote, okay? Plenty. So, I definitely want everybody to know that that haha emote's the only one that's got rules, and it's a nice haha, okay? Okay, there we have it. Now that we've gone over that, Terry in Scotland, Vancouver Canucks logo is an Arca. Would it make a good emote? Maybe. Well, you know what, Terry? It's funny you should say that because I actually have an emote that is an orca. I just forgot to throw that down. And let's see here. So, Andre, it's funny Ice-T Body Count did a remake of Suicidal Tendencies song Institutional where he gets a challenge about what he's eating by a vegan and he's not too happy about it. It's kind of funny. I haven't heard that song. And let's see here. Oh. Wait, Polychaser, make hamburgers? Does that work too? Do you mean should I make a hamburger emote? Because I should make a hamburger emote. And Kenny, personally, I think the Happy Panda whale emote is woefully underappreciated. That is true. That is true. And let's see here. All right, so Trail Dust, you got yourself some vegan water. There you have it, Rabbit. And Polychaser, honestly, dude, I feel the same way. My vegetarian friends argue. But I don't have I don't have kids, but I do feel the same way. I think the kids do need whatever is in meat to develop. So yeah, you know. All right, so let's see here. What else we got here that I missed from saying anything? And you don't hear any Lono music. Well, let me turn it up a little bit. There, Lono music is in the background, Puzzy, but it might have been really soft. So I just turned it up a good deal. So if it's not loud enough or too loud, let me know, and I can adjust it. And chasing polygons is what it means. He used to be a 3D artist. It's a leftover. Wow, Polychaser, that's neat. And really, we don't have any Lono? Okay, we do now. Okay. Oh, you did poke me 2 times about it? I missed it. I'm so sorry. And really, you can't hear it. What is going on? It should be heard. Whoa. Okay, so Kenny and Andre say it, and you can hear it a little bit better, but I guess it still needs to be up a little bit. Okay, so I just turned it up even more. Awesome. Okay, cool. So sorry, you guys. So sorry. And Polychaser, yes, Shock is coming in with the real deal. We have a general underlay of Polynesian culture here, especially Hawaii. Exactly. This particular live streamer, that'd be me. First off, my live stream name, Mad Statter, also a holdover from a previous life. You're a Polychaser, former 3D artist. I used to be in roller derby. I was a non-skating official. And roller derby, we have roller derby names. I was Mad Statter. My online presence for the last almost 20 years has been under the moniker of Mad Statter. And so when I started my channel, I just decided to keep it. And so I am hugely in favor of old names hanging on. All right, Polychaser, you old namer, you. That's right. And so let's see here. What else we got? There it is, says everybody. You can hear it very quiet. Okay, good. Can hear it now. And Pokoti, you went to a funeral on Friday night. When we got back to Mom's place, she threw salt at the front door before she went inside. Something about spirits, yada. What the hell? Guess it was learned behavior. Yeah, you know, I'm not surprised. Salt, though, is cleansing, they say. So there you have it. And, oh, Polly, actually, I did think that. Some people think it has to do with relationships, but the one wife I have is hard world. More would kill me. Fair enough. Yeah, exactly, Andre. Polychaser can mean so many things, so yeah. Oh no, now it's too loud. Okay. Porridge is too hot. I turned it down a little bit. Shock just said it's too loud. Okay, turned it down a little bit. So, all right, let's see here. And the mad part is subject to interpretation, but the statter part, yes, that's most apropos. Yeah, well, the mad part that is true, and that is precisely, I actually did say to one of my friends one, I was just like, yeah, that's right, I'm Mad Statter. Does that mean does that mean I'm crazy? Or does that mean just that I'm a little bit loco? And he said, you know, I was fine until you started that laugh. That laugh was terrifying. Clearly, you must be crazy because that laugh sent chills down my spine. And I kind of liked it that way. Macaulay T, if you start throwing salt at my backdrop, will it stop falling down midstream? I have no idea. But you know what? Here's the real clue. If I just shut my back door so the wind wouldn't come in, it wouldn't knock it over. But it's an 80-degree day out right now, and I have my front door and my back door open. So I have a good cross breeze, and so it's kind of breezy in my house, so woo! I'm kind of surprised it hasn't fallen again. Now that I've said that, we all know what's going to happen. Yeah. And exactly, Puzzycat, we're all a little bit nuts. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe some people aren't. but this is something I feel very strongly about, okay? Anybody who's here for more than like 0.3 seconds, they're a little bit nuts. You gotta be to hang out with us. That much I can tell you. And let's see here. Exactly, Darlene. Let the air in, so nice and refreshing after being closed up all winter. You got it. Duct tape, hammers, and WD-40. We got this. You know it, babe. That is exactly right. All right, you guys. So we're getting to be around about on our Lono listening break. I think my cats are outside because the crows are very angry. So I'm going to have to go check that out. And Verity, so good to see you. In the Southland, it's 64. Wow, yeah, no, up here in Seattle, we got ourselves an 80-degree day today and yesterday. Tomorrow's going to be 60, though, so I'll be feeling the chill like you. Now, let me just tell ya, today, just so you know, it's Mother's Day, all right? It's Mother's Day. So in the spirit of Mother's Day and how you become a mother, one of the few ways to become a mother, I mean, there's some ways, but the most natural way to become a mother, well, Lono's got a song about that, about something, about a rock, a sacred rock, an act, etc. So our Lono listening break today is Boto Nui by LonoMusic. It's about the phallic rock of Molokai.
Okay, if you go up to the Kalaupapa lookout here in Molokai, there's two trails. One trail goes to the lookout. The other trail goes to one of Molokai's most scenic points. Yeah, here we go. Have you ever been up to the phallic rock? Sit on the rock and you have good luck.
Alrighty, you guys. So, I didn't have to go bring my cats in. They came in on their own accord. But, yes, indeedy, it was the kitties that were making the crows call. And this is Dusty for all y'all who don't know. This one's the boy kitty, the Mr. Dusty. And he wants off now. Alrighty. Now, Puzzy, I'll get to you in a minute, but Polly, I think it was you. What was it, Polly, that said? Wait, was it? Okay, Polly, yes. What was he singing about? Okay, there's a rock on. There's a rock on. Hold on. There's a rock on Molokai that's shaped like a phallus, and people who are having trouble conceiving, they go there, sit on the rock. They have good luck, meaning they get pregnant after they sit on the rock. What's he singing about? Boto means penis. It's a Filipino slang. Nui means big. That's a Hawaii, or many, or great is what it kind of means. Anyway, the song Boto Nui, literally translated, is big penis. And the song, the phrases that he was saying, umua, that's forward. Ihope, that's backwards. So he's saying forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards. I think now if you know what those words mean and the rhythmic way in which he was singing them, the slow pace, the faster pace, the frantic pace, that's in the vein of what it takes to make a baby. So that is what that song, that's what he's singing about. He's singing about having sex, basically. Now, Bacolity, you're blushing. Well, I mean, it's what those words mean, right? You know? And, and so there's that. But, yeah, exactly, Kenny. Needless to say, I clued into that right away. Kenny, do I have to draw us a picture? Polly, does it have to be big? Well, here's the deal. If I'd been thinking, I would have pulled up a picture of the rock for people who might not know what the rock looks like. I'll see if I can find it, maybe while we're looking at something else, and and I'll see if I can pull it up. Hey, Katie Zora, good to see you. Now, Huzzy Cat, if you already heard about this, then you probably already know this story, but I'm going to tell it to you again. For all of you who were here the last time you heard this story, you're going to hear it again, because it's a really cool story. It's one of my favorite stories. So, Huzzy Cat, I was driving home from work the other day. I pulled onto my street, and I noticed a cat in front of my across the street neighbor's driveway. And I said to myself, hey, that looks like Leo. And then I pulled into my driveway and the cat looked, and I looked, and it was like, hey, that is Leo. And so the kitty just stayed and watched me while I was getting out of my car, and I got out of my car, and then I said, hey, let's see, I said, hey, Leo, how's it? Come on inside. You want to come inside? We're going to have dinner. And so Leo ran across the street. And then I walked up to my front porch, and I couldn't see him because of the angle of my yard versus the street. But then he hopped up my rock wall, and he came trotting across my yard. And I was like, hey, Leo. And I opened the front door, and he hopped on the porch, and he walked in with me. So together we walked in the front door. And so clearly Leo knows his name. Clearly Leo comes when he's called, if he wants to. And then he joined us for dinner. And so I think that was the last time I saw Leo, but I might be lying, but I don't think I am. And let's see here. Kenny from the Cove, that's so funny. Speaking of personal experience, no, the rock doesn't have to be big. Button on a fur coat, if you know, you know. Ah, yes, hung like a stack of buttons, eh? I had a boyfriend once who referred to himself as, I'm hung like a stack of buttons. So, yeah. And let's see here. Polychaser, the idea that sitting on a rock has any effect on fertility seems silly to you. Fair enough, but you have to understand this particular rock is part of a 2-rock series. The female rock is further down the hill, and there's a myth surrounding why and how these rocks are what they came to be. But it is actually a set of 2 rocks. There's the phallic rock, and then there's the female rock, I guess. And people go to that shrine to pray. They leave offerings, and apparently it works sometimes. Who really knows? And yes, Gina, I thought that was a sweet story too. I love my little Leo stories. And let's see here. Leo's not around. I haven't seen him in the last few days, but that's normal, Pussycat. Leo, Leo's an unneutered male, so he's out. Tis the season to go Tommen, right? There's been times during the summer where I won't see Leo for weeks, and I don't worry about him because I know he knows how to take care of himself. So I don't know where he is now, but I wouldn't be surprised if he hears us talking about him and he'll show up as soon as this flippin' stream is over, because that is actually really classic of Leo. Let's see here. Is Dicky in the dictionary? It probably is. And exactly, Verity, the power of myth is not to be underestimated. That is precisely it. And isn't that always the way? The female rock is always further down the hill. Indeed, Kenny, you are pretty much picking up what people are laying down, isn't it? And let's see here. eMusic, one of the times I was near the male rock, it spoke to me asking to have it uncovered. Everyone gasped when I removed the vines masking it. Nice, eMusic. Yeah, I had a friend once come to my house, and he told me that the trees in my front yard were screaming because the chain that I had around them for my hammock was too tight. And when we went to go investigate the chain that I had around my hammock, or around them for my hammock, indeed, it was too tight. And so we removed the chain, and he said the trees stopped screaming. So there you go. And and let's see here. Oh, right, the clothing definition of Dicky is in the dictionary. Absolutely. And that is exactly it, Pussycat. I got cat class and I got cat style. You know it. All right, so I missed in the sidebar a conversation that I think I might know is going on. It's about plants, and it might even be about Plumeria plants. By the way, y'all, in case you don't know, this is an emote that I've got here. It's a Plumeria emote. Plumeria is a very, very fragrant flower in the Hawaiian Islands, and I was gifted one by C Honda back at the end of last summer, and I was really scared. I didn't know whether or not I was going to be able to grow it here up in Seattle area, and I kind of hesitated for planting it. And then one day I noticed that even though it was unplanted and it was basically just a stick with a plastic bag around the end, the other parts were growing leaves out of it. And I was like, well, if it's growing leaves without even being in the potted plant, I guess it wants to live. So I potted my plant, potted the Plumeria, and then over the winter, all the leaves fell off. But then over the summer, my, let's see here, where did it go? But then over the summer, it got more leaves. And so right now, I just on Wednesday put my Plumeria plant outside on my front porch. That's the close-up of my little 3 prongs. That's the far away. And the other stuff in the pot with it is green onions that I was trying to regrow. Because those are green onions that I put in, green onions from, the grocery store. I chopped them, used them, and then I put the little ends in some water, and it started to grow. So I put it in dirt and They're sort of growing. They probably won't really grow, but whatever. Yeah. So this is what my Plumeria looks like now. It's all cocky-wumpus. It's all hamajang. I've got 3 big leaves and then a bunch of little ones. And so, yeah, Pussycat, I'm sure they grow great in Florida. I'm hoping that I'll be able to keep it out in the Pacific Northwest until at least early October. So I'm very curious to see how it, all the leaves start to come out. Because if you look closely, I mean, obviously, here we go. If you look closely, you can see these little, there's another little green leaf, coming out of the center. And then that third nub with no leaves, it's got a whole bunch of little green ones that is about to pop off. Darlene, you've got 15 large green leaves already and more baby leaves coming from the center. I am so flippin' jealous of you. But this is my first year, and I didn't have a very good place to put it in in my house. But now that it's warmer out, I've got plenty good places in my yard to make it happy. And so hopefully it will be happy. And I don't know if C. Honda was referring to her Plumeria plant and if it's struggling, but C. Honda, I really hope you can get it going, because I'm so happy to see my little hamajang flower or leaves doing their thing. And I would love it if you could have little leavies on your things too. And Pussycat, you were actually able to see the Northern Lights in Central Florida last night. Awesome. I think I saw the Northern Lights last night, but I might have just had my eyes playing tricks on me. I don't think I did. I don't know. There's so much light pollution in my area. I've got the airport behind me, and I've got Seattle just to the north of me. So I wasn't really sure. And, okay, wait, don't leave it in direct sunlight for a week or so it don't get burnt. Well, it's in direct sunlight for a couple hours of the day, but then most of the day it's in shade. But that's good to know, because I did have another spot I was thinking about putting it in that was a little shadier, so maybe I'll move it to that spot. And then also, Rick, how do I know if it's sunburned or not? Shoot, this is a thought I hadn't really, okay, E-Music, in Hawaii, the Plumeria drink up the sun. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I was thinking. And so yeah, I don't really know. And yeah, Darlene, I heard that, that you could see the Northern Lights even as far south as Hawaii. And then, well, then move it into direct sunlight, then move it out. There you go. Well, you know, we'll play it by ear. I mean, worst thing that's gonna happen is I kill it and then I feel really bad. And so C. Honda's saying, yes, eventually get it out of the sun. Okay. Pro tip, do not drink the sun. No, I would need way too many ice cubes. My ice machine is not big enough for me to drink the sun, because I like my beverages cold. And from what I understand, when you drink the sun, they only serve it hot. And I don't particularly like hot beverages, so I would need to get some ice, but I'm not so sure there's enough ice to cool the sun down to a drinkable temperature. So I'm absolutely getting controversial or contradictory information here on what I should or shouldn't do. But here's the deal, y'all. This plant has been in a south-facing window right up next to the window in like a very hot, reflective greenhousey area in my house. So I'm thinking, I mean, I did worry about acclimating it to the outside, you know, the outside shock, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. You just have to gradually let it get used to the sunlight, and if it's just beginning to grow too long and too intense, might be too extreme. All right, well, we'll see. I mean, you know, I'm pretty far north, so it's not like I'm in Hawaii or Florida where the rays are a little bit coming at me a little bit more directly. Then again, Wisconsin's kind of far north too, so we'll see. It's already been outside with no, it's been outside for the last like 5 days without dying yet. Key phrase, key word, that is, would be yet. Without dying yet. Yet. And I know, Polychaser, you can. We are so dependent on electricity. A major flare, I think they've only got the geomagnetic storms rated 1 through 5, but what if there was like the equivalent of an 8? Off the scale, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, what would that do to us? Right, exactly. And, let's see here. So, all right, so Andre says, you don't drink the sun, you eat the sun like a plant. Speaking of eating, I've got clams and I've got questions about how to cook them. But wait, okay, Rick, the leaves, hold on. Rick says, oh, I can't even, where did it go? I can't find what Rick says. There's we go. The leaf edges will dry out and turn brown if it gets sunburned. It takes about 6 days to burn. Oh, it sounds like someone knows from practice. Well, I'll have to go outside today and see if it's burnt. Tomorrow's going to be a cloudy day here, so it might be okay. Maybe? We'll see. See, Honda, you've killed many Plumeria branches. That's just awful, dude. Because the one that you sent me was just so happy and ready to grow. It was just running out. It was making, you've got the touch to get them started. You do. You've done it. And Puzzycat, what crop did you, never mind, Puzzycat. You planted a different crop today. 'Tis the season to start growing again. I think I know what crop you're referring to, and we don't need to discuss that. Fantastic. I hope that crop is abundant and fragrant. Shall we say. Let's see here. Terry in Scotland. In the Philippines, where Plumeria were introduced in the early 1560s from Mexico, Plumerias are associated with graveyards. Really? Since the strong smell of the flowers were used to mask the smell of death, this association spread into neighboring regions in Ternate and into Malaysia and Indonesia. In these 3 countries, Plumerias are still often associated with ghosts and cemeteries. Well, no wonder I like the Plumerias so much. And, let's see here. So Terry continuing, in several Pacific islands where Plumerias were introduced in the late 19th century, such as Tahiti, Fiji, Samoa, Hawaii, New Zealand, Tonga, and the Cook Islands, Plumeria species are used for making leis. In Hawaii, the flower is called, it's called Malia? I thought it was called Plumeria. In modern Polynesian culture, the flower can be worn by women to indicate their relationship status. Over the right ear, you're seeking a relationship. Over the left ear, that means you're taken. And Verity, do I think Washington is getting warmer? Yes, and also colder. Our seasons are getting way more extreme. Absolutely. And let's see here. Yes. Razor clams. Polychaser, I want to discuss that now. Well, sir, I'm not sure if it's legal in every state the way it is here in Washington, so I didn't want to get anybody into trouble by mentioning that, right? And let's see here. Yeah, I know, right, Andre? I love Plumeria, and after hearing all that graveyard and ghost stuff, I like them even more. That is so, yep, there you go. That is so awesome. But, all right, you guys. Oh, Rick, and just watch out for the ones that wear the flower on top of their head. Those are the Polychasers. And, and Shock, I don't know what that has to do with anything. I'm absolutely not arguing that I ignore gunfire fired in anger. Yes, I'm the one who ignores fired in anger gunshots. I do, I do ignore them because anyway. Yeah, Polychaser, so just so you know, so you can be in on the joke. Last summer, I was in Sacramento, and I went to this dive bar in an old Sacramento town, and one of the locals there warned me, like, this is kind of a rough neighborhood. And I was like, I live in a rough neighborhood, I'm really not that worried. And he was like, okay, well, be careful when you walk back to your hotel. And so later that night, I walked back to my hotel, and there was no problem. I did see some people smoking weed on the street, and I thought to myself, hey, you know what? I haven't smoked weed all day. I'm gonna go to my hotel room, grab some weed, come back down to the weed smoking section in the hotel lot, because they had one, and I'm gonna smoke some weed. So I went and sat on the bench, and I had my cell phone, and I'm reading my cell phone, scrolling through Facebook, whatever, smoking my joint, minding my own business, just as strong, I'm on my own business. And I heard I swear to God it was far away, I heard softly, pow, pow. And I immediately knew they were gunshots, but I also thought, that was really soft, those are far away, I don't have to worry about it. And so I continued scrolling and smoking my joint. Less than a minute later, crowds of people come running from the general direction of the gunshots, yelling about, he's got a gun, he's got a gun, he's shooting. As it turns out, the gunshots were not that far away from where I'd been sitting, and as it further turns out, where they ended up arresting the gunshot guy, the guy who fired the gun, was literally just a couple blocks away from where I had been sitting, and in order to get from here to there, he literally had to run right past me. After the gunshots were fired, I'm just minding my own business. So, yeah. Yeah. And, right, exactly. And that's true, Andre, coming in with the real truth. No, I don't ignore them. I do the hood identification of loud noises and say, nope, fireworks. Say next one, yes, that's a gun, but far away, so safe. That is actually true. That is actually true. Because here's the deal, y'all, and I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it because it's the truth. I hear louder gunshots from my living room than those gunshots seemed. And, in fact, those gunshots were so soft that one of the people who was running from the gunshots, she's from Chicago, you know, and so everybody, like, was hanging around by this bench where I was in the hotel parking lot area and, you know, talking about what had happened, which is how I learned what had happened. And this one lady from Chicago was saying, finally said, you know, it's really weird. It was a really soft gun. And or it was a really soft, you know, it wasn't very loud. I can't remember what she said, but I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I thought. It was such a quiet shot. And he only shot 2. And so then the Chicago girl and I started joking, like, it was really very polite. It was a very polite shooting, don't you think? By the way, he did hit someone. So it really wasn't, something to laugh about. But at the same time, yeah, it's something to laugh about. All right, yes, you guys. What I was going to talk about before is, and yes, Kenny, I did have some good plant-based stuff. What I want to talk about before is, yeah, it's a tiny gun with tiny bullets. This is fine. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, you guys, so this last week, I did go on a mini vacation, and I ended up getting a bunch of razor clams. And razor clams are big, and I don't really know how to cook the razor clams. And here's the deal, right, you guys? So, boop. This is what razor clams look like. That's razor clams in comparison to other clams. Those are all razor clams. Razor clams in comparison to other clams. And gosh darn it, I thought I had another picture. And then this is what the clams, those are my clams. That is a pound worth of clams. And this is what the clams look like cleaned. Here, hold on. So those are my clams. I have about a pound and a half of the razors that I got. And Andre, those look like gooey ducks. Funny you should say that, because razor clams are mini gooey ducks. They are considered mini gooey ducks. But Pacific razor clams, the bag that I've got there, that's my 1.5 pounds. The meat that's on that scale is from the equivalent of 1 clam. So how are you supposed? You have to use the shells, silly. But what's on the scale right now, that's 1 clam worth of meat. That's the siphon, that's the body, and it's the digger, right? And so this picture is 1 pound of wild Pacific razor clams, just from the Quinault Reservation, which is pretty much where we were. And it costs, I know, another phallic topic to talk about. Hadn't even thought about that, shoot. And this 1 pound bag of frozen razor clams costs $40, y'all. $40. That's how, expensive they are. So I have a 1.5 pounds, so I've got about $60 worth of clams. I paid $9 for my license, and I got $60 worth of clams. Definitely worth it. And this is what they look like when you're, no, go back. This is what they look like when you're cleaning them. And, and there you go. And so I'm gonna try deep frying them, but here's the deal, y'all. Clams can be so flipping sensitive to overcooking. You know, it's like 1 second too long in that deep fryer and suddenly it's a deep fried rubber band. Now, don't get me wrong, deep fried rubber bands are delicious because they're deep fried, but they could be more delicious if they weren't a rubber band, right? You know? And so this is the beach sunset that we got that particular day. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland. The gooey duck is native to the coastal waters of eastern northern Pacific, from Alaska to Baja California. The shell of the clam ranges from 15 centimeters, 6 inches, to over 20 centimeters, 8 inches in length, but its extremely long siphons make the clam itself much longer. The neck or siphon alone can be 3 feet in length. The gooey duck is the largest burrowing clam in the world. That is very, very true. And yeah, even I have eaten clams, says Shock, and the buggas stay chewy. If you don't cook them right, they will get a chew. And so Darlene says, no, don't cover them in breadcrumbs, saute in butter, garlic, and more garlic. That sounds like a good one. And wow, Terry, I didn't know that gooey ducks lived for 150 years old or something. That's crazy, dude. And right, Puzzycat, way too chewy if overcooked. And so that's why I'm just not sure how to cook them. And but now that you know and see what they look like, you're grossed out years after the fact. Bacola tea, lots of butter. Gina, razor clams are the long, thin ones. Yes and no. I mean, yes, but you'll see here. Well, here, no. How about you'll see? You'll see here that these ones are the Pacific razor clams, and they're a little bit wider than the ones that you can get in Asia, which are very long and thin. But basically, yeah, they're the longer, thinner ones. So this is a gooey duck in comparison to oh, come on. There we go. This is a gooey duck. The two in the top left, that's a side view and then a facing view, and then the other ones are just, typical clams. So they're long and thin. That's what the little razor clam is. And really, you used to eat them raw, Puzzycat. I did see that you could, but the smaller ones, of course. Yeah, I could see how the smaller ones would work, but the bigger ones, I'm just not so sure how you would do that. And let's see here. Ooh, MacNut cookies, yum. And yes, exactly. If you're hung like a gooey duck, you, sir, are hung. That is precisely it. And so I wanted to brag about my little My little haul. It's actually a big haul because I got about 1.5 pounds. And yes, Chatter with Statter Butter Club. And because you guys know who we are talking with and dealing with, I was at Ocean Shores at a condo, and near the condo, walking by, we've got some little deer visitors. So I had to take pictures of the deer. And Lady Missy, you're allergic to shellfish. You ate fried clam fritters once. That's it. I was thinking of trying to make some clam fritters. I was thinking of maybe using the siphon and like grinding it up to make the clam fritters. I'm just not sure. I've never done that though. And Picola tea, but please use real butter, not the vegan stuff. I would never use margarine because margarine is vegan butter basically. And no, it's always butter. But okay, so you guys. Where I was at Ocean Shores, and because you know who I am, right? Yeah. I was at Ocean Shores, you guys. Here's a map. This is where we were. So, okay, you guys. Do you see the rainbow by the ocean, by the Ocean Shores? That was where I went. But just north of the rainbow, there's a light green triangle within the darker green peninsula. And that little light green triangle, that's the Quinault Reservation, the Quinault Indian Reservation. And if you remember, the $40 clams are from the Quinault Reservation. See? So these clams that are $40 a pound are from pretty much the same place I got my clams. Because even though I stayed in Ocean Shores, yeah, that's right, you guys. I've got another one. I've got another map. This time it's close up. Even though I stayed in Ocean Shores, you'll see if you go up the road north, you hit the Quinault Reservation, and where we went clamming was right around Pacific Beach, just south of the reservation. Because here's the deal, y'all. White people aren't allowed to go clamming on the reservation. And I'm not going to argue about that because we got plenty beach the rest of the flippin' state, so there you have it. But the reason why I mention it is they charge $40 for clams, for a pound of clams off that res, and I got my pound almost on the res, so they're just as good. At least that's what I think. And so there we have it, you guys. Razor clams. And so if you've got any ideas for recipes, or if you have recipes, be sure to go to the Discord channel, which I meant to get the link for, but I didn't because I forgot. But if you've got recipes for clams and you know how to get to my Discord, I'd love it if you could post them on the recipes section. And if Rick and or Shock could be awesome and get a Discord link so other people can get the link, I'd be super stoked, dude. Because I do have Discord open. Wait, hold on. I guess I could do it. I could probably do it. If I knew how. Wait, how do I invite people? I don't know how to invite people. Okay, I guess I can't do it. Yeah, thank you. See, Shock can do things that I don't know how to do. So yeah, there you have it. And wow. So I do have a Discord. I just don't know how to do things with it, apparently. And Mama Sean, we used to camp at Pacific Beach. Is the Zany Zebra Zip still there? I did not see it, so I cannot say, but I don't know. I don't know. And let's see here. Wrap them in bacon, drizzle with garlic butter, bake. Well, okay. I mean, anything wrapped in bacon and drizzled in garlic butter is gonna be good. So, okay. And let's see here. Funny enough, when you showed those pictures, you had to look up Ocean Shores on the map. Well, Andre, you should have known better. Andre, you've been around here long enough. You should have known better. You should have known that, there was going to be a map. There's always a map. Always a map. And Mad Statter, I just made that up. I'm the last person to ask about seafood, but don't people do that with shrimp? Yes, they do. And, oh, barbecue them? Well, I don't have a barbecue, but I could maybe think about... I did see a recipe online for smoking them, but barbecuing, that could be... All right, dude, all right. And hey, Danny Settle, happy Mother's Day to all the Vahinis who might have that, to whom it is applicable. Good to see you, Danny. And, there's only a Darlene's recipe channel. We need to have a little chat. Uh-oh. Well, you can put it on the Darlene recipe page, or else when I get done here, which will be done in 2 minutes because Fuzzy Cat gave the 2-minute warning, I'll go add a recipe page and just roll them up and smoke them. Well, now, Terry, I'm very familiar with that. I just might have to do that. I just might have to do that. And there you have it. So, all right, you guys, 2 minutes. We got our 2-minute warning, which means we got 2 minutes left. So I guess it's time to wrap everything up in bacon because that'll make us taste better. Yes, it will. And I want to thank everybody for hanging out today, enjoying all of the strangeness and the chat. Super stoked that we had a couple new people coming in and a couple old new people, or new old people, or it's good we've got some return customers, man. I'm glad that the Statterbox crew is growing big and all the new folks are coming in with good chat, and it's like we're just one big happy family. And so thank you so much, Andre, for that 10,000 or 1,000 biddies, the 1,000 biddies, 10,000 biddies? No, just 1,000. And I don't mean jest. I'm trying to look at numbers. That's all I meant by that. Thank you so much for the gift subs, Andre. Thank you, Dusty, for the cat hair on my tongue. Thank you, mods, for banning people that needed to be banned. And thank everybody who threw all the emotes and put up with the emote lesson and putting up with the emote rules. We don't try to have a lot of rules, but we do have some rules. And yeah, there we have it, Rabbit. So hopefully we will see each other next Saturday for no, wait, what? Today's I don't know what day it is. Hopefully, I think today's Sunday. If today is Sunday, it's Sunday, right? The next time we'll see each other is Wednesday. eMusic, thank you. We will see each other on Wednesday. Because today's not Wednesday, today is Sunday. So, there we have it. Wednesday, 5 p.m., Chatter with Statter. Who knows what we'll talk about, but we're not going to talk about vegan cheese because we already talked about it. So that threat is officially off the table. All right, you guys, bottom of the hour. It's time to shut this down. We'll see each other soon. Take care. Have a great one. And thank you all for hanging out today. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. All right, y'all.